All right, today we are jumping into an incredible story of two brothers, a stolen blessing, and a single prophecy that would go on to shape the destiny of entire nations. It's a foundational tale, really, all about family rivalry and some serious deception.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The entire saga we're about to unpack, it all pivots on these key moments involving hunger and food. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But this question, how a single meal can literally change everything, is right at the very heart of this story.
So believe it or not, this conflict gets started before the brothers are even born. Their mother, Rebekah, feels this intense struggle inside her, and she asks the Lord, "Why is this happening to me?" And the answer she gets is this incredible prophecy. Right there, it sets up a total reversal of the natural order of things. The older son, the one who should inherit everything, is destined to serve his younger brother. This divine decree just hangs over every single event that follows.
And here they are, our two main players, Esau and Jacob. They're twins, but they could not be more different. Esau is this rugged, outdoorsy hunter, a real man of the field, and he's his father's favorite. Jacob, on the other hand, is a quiet guy, a homebody, and he's his mother's favorite. Now, this isn't just some small family detail. It's absolutely crucial. The loyalties in this family are completely split down the middle. And that parental favoritism, well, it's basically the gasoline for the fire that's about to start.
This right here is the first major turning point. Esau, the hunter, stumbles in from the field and he's exhausted, starving. Jacob, the planner, just happens to be cooking some stew, and he sees his brother's moment of weakness not as something to help with, but as an opportunity. The demand he makes is just simple and shocking.
And Esau's response is so telling. He basically says, "Look, I'm about to die from hunger. What good is a birthright to me then?" He chooses the instant gratification of a meal over the abstract promise of his entire future. The text even says he despised his birthright. I mean, think about that. His whole legacy traded away for a bowl of stew.
Okay, flash forward a bunch of years and the stakes get even higher. Isaac is old now, he can barely see, and he thinks he's near the end. He wants to give his official, life-altering blessing to his favorite, Esau. But notice the condition. It's tied to food again. Esau has to go out, hunt, and cook that savory meat that Isaac loves so much. This one final wish is what sets the stage for an even bigger, more audacious deception.
But somebody's listening. Rebekah overhears the whole thing, and remembering that prophecy from all those years ago, she springs into action. This wasn't some clumsy last-minute idea. Oh no, this was a methodical, almost cold-blooded, four-step plan. She handles the food, she figures out the disguise, she covers all the bases, and when Jacob gets nervous, worrying he'll get caught and cursed instead, she says, "Upon me be thy curse, my son." Her determination is just absolute.
You can just feel the tension in this scene. Jacob goes to his blind father, and Isaac is immediately suspicious. The voice, it just doesn't sound right. It sounds like Jacob, but then he reaches out and feels Jacob's arms, which are covered in those hairy goat skins. He's completely confused. His ears are telling him one thing, but his hands are telling him something else. And in the end, the physical disguise, the feeling of the hands, is what convinces him. The deception works.
So what was in this blessing anyway? What was so important that it was worth all this trouble? Well, it was basically a promise of incredible prosperity and power. We're talking agricultural abundance, the best of the land, plenty of food and wine. We're talking political power, nations will bow down to you, and maybe most importantly, authority over your own family. You will be lord over your brother. This wasn't just some nice fatherly wish. It was a binding, prophetic declaration that would define Jacob's entire future.
The timing is just unbelievable. Just as Jacob is leaving, Esau walks in with the meal he prepared. And the moment of truth is absolutely devastating. Isaac asks, "Who are you?" And when Esau tells him, the text says Isaac trembled very exceedingly. You can just imagine the pure horror as he realizes what's happened. The blessing was given, and it can't be taken back.
Now, it's really easy to get completely lost in the human drama here, right? The lies, the betrayal, the heartbreak. But to really understand the true weight of everything that's happening, we have to kind of zoom out. The source text isn't just telling a juicy family story. It's laying out the entire divine framework for their world. To really get the stakes, you have to understand the rules of the game. So first things first, who is God in this narrative? The text uses very specific titles, like the Lord and God Almighty. This isn't some distant, abstract force. This is a being who shows up,
who speaks directly to people, gives them instructions, and enters into these binding agreements or covenants. He's very much an active character in this story.
Okay, so what is God actually like in this story? Well, his actions reveal a very clear character. He's defined by his faithfulness. He keeps promises and oaths that were made generations earlier. He's the source of blessings, of prosperity, and of guidance, telling people where to go and promising he'll be with them. And maybe above all, he is sovereign. He is powerful enough to determine the fate of nations before a child is even born.
All right, so we've got this incredibly powerful divine player. But what's the rule book for the humans in the story? The text actually lays out a pretty clear set of principles for how they're supposed to live, both in how they relate to God and how they relate to each other.
It seems like the rules really boil down to two big areas. First, how you're supposed to act towards God. The number one rule there is obedience. You listen to his voice, you keep his commandments, you build altars, and so on. Then there's how you're supposed to act towards other people. And the focus there seems to be on peaceful coexistence. Making treaties, promising not to harm your neighbors, and this is a big one, a rule about not marrying women from the surrounding Canaanite tribes.
With all this talk about meals and stews and venison driving the plot, you have to wonder, does the text actually lay out any specific dietary rules? Things you can and cannot eat?
And surprisingly, the answer is no. The source material here doesn't actually give us any specific food laws. Instead, food acts as this really powerful tool inside the story itself. Jacob uses stew to bargain for a birthright. Rebekah uses savory meat to pull off a deception. Isaac hosts a big feast to seal a peace treaty. So food is what drives the plot, but not because of any specific rules about it.
Okay, let's get back to the family drama, because the fallout from this deception is huge. The consequence is swift and is severe. Esau's grief and his sorrow curdle into this deep, deep hatred. The text even says he comforted himself with the idea of murdering his own brother as soon as their father was gone. The family is just completely shattered.
And who steps in yet again? Rebekah, of course. She gets wind of Esau's murder plot and tells Jacob, you have to run for your life. Now, the official story she gives Isaac is that they need to send Jacob away to find a proper wife from their own people. But the real reason, the urgent one, is to escape his brother's murderous rage.
And this line from Esau, wow, it just says it all, doesn't it? He sees a clear pattern here. The name Jacob is actually related to a word that means heel grabber or supplanter, and Esau just throws it right back in his face. First, he took my birthright, he says, and now he's taken my blessing. From Esau's point of view, he has been systematically robbed of his entire future.
And so just like that, the prophecy is fulfilled. The elder is now on a path to serve the younger exactly as it was foretold all those years ago. But it was all achieved through lies, manipulation, and a profound family betrayal. And that leaves us with this really tangled and fascinating question. Was all this deception actually necessary to fulfill the divine plan? Or was this just human ambition using destiny as a convenient excuse? When divine will and human deception are this wrapped up together, what is it that truly defines a legacy?